Fern kind of like chimes in. Should we go? Sounds like you're having a conversation with a lot of context we don't have, and I don't want to intrude on anything that we're not supposed to be a part of, or if there's secrets or anything.
If you don't
You guys
want to
just
know,
want
you
to go
can
make
leave.
out in the garden again, don't you?
No.
Yeah, you just want to do that.
Gross.
Listen, if you're on,
look over, just
if you're on,
Little disclaimer that I, Mystic, am an employee of Wizards of the Coast on the D&D team.
Last time on Utopia podcast, the party, having been to the castle to speak with King Thedonis, aka Reem, and Livy having spoken to his crush, Ananoth, make their way through the town square, doing a little research on bounties in the area, before heading to the Carousel Court, which they find fully abandoned, with only 3 crew members left. They learn more about where the crew has gone, and Sille finds a dead crow, seemingly new or changed, an old companion named Garakias. It's in their discoveries and exploration of this building that we find the party.
Stick my head out in the hallway.
Yeah. It's not there, okay? It was mine! She took it, and it was mine! I did not let her borrow it! She did not ask for permission!
Livy
What?
silently takes the note.
What's the matter?
She wasn't even there when I found it. It was my crown, and she took it without asking!
It could still be here. We found something.
Not here.
But what do you mean
That
it's not
doesn't
here?
matter! She took it without asking!
Livy gives you the note.
Oh, fuck.
If you were
Did
just
you
passing
find
around,
anything?
I found it fair and square.
That fuck sounded a little bit melancholy, Sille, from in the hall.
Hey, Morgus, you turn the fire down and get in here,
Okay.
please.
I'll come in and I'm actively working on a thing.
I knew it.
Unscroll it and hold it up to your eyes.
You have to hold it up very high.
Fuck.
I thought it was just my trust issues again.
She's got to have a reason for this.
That doesn't make it okay. You're supposed to ask before you take other people's things.
Did you put those library books back?
Don't.
Those were in fact checked out of the library officially.
They were checked.
So technically,
And then
I wrote it down.
They do have a return date.
That's true.
In any
actually.
case.
Godfrey comes in at this point and just taps Zibba's greatsword a couple times as he enters the conversation. What did he find?
Hand the note over to
Lying
Godfrey.
snake.
Well, I was honestly just hoping to find something embarrassing in one of their underwear drawers, but this is what I found instead. But it's proof! Evidence! They took my crown. Fern follows you, Godfrey.
So
Is everything okay?
you didn't answer me. Did you find anything?
Okay, we'll leave you to it. She like pulls Gahesh's arm and they walk back to the greenhouse.
Before they leave, Morgus goes, "Don't touch anything in the kitchen. Don't.
Okay.
Just wait."
Okay.
Okay, so they have Medusa's crown and a 5 days head start to Fort Mercer.
I already used Medusa's crown, I think, to revive her.
No, wait, hold on.
Give her our...
Wait. No. Whose handwriting is the note? Did Ulu write that note?
If you hand it to Sille, Sille would be able to recognize that Ulu wrote the note.
Yeah, I'll take it back. I gotta take a look.
It's also signed Ulu, the end.
Yeah, no, so Ulu wrote the note. And it's small and it would go on a messenger of some kind.
Yeah.
Why is the note
most
here
likely.
and not having been sent? That was an outgoing message.
Who is it going to?
Well, Medusa, it says on the note.
What else have you found?
They didn't have any, like, crows or carrier pigeons around here last time we were here, right?
Sille, what did you find?
Just this. Oh well. and a dead crow. I'll turn over the brooch. I found this. Gash found a crow with its heart pricked in a way that makes me worried about Ulu.
Morgus is going to start. Yeah, like Morgus is going to start
thing.
looking at, like, could this have been, like, this didn't get tied to a bird and sent out, but could there have been any kind of magical or ritual-based casting involved with any of these things?
You pull out your giant's eye monocle
Yeah.
and you look at the brooch. And there was such strong magic imbued in this brooch that it reverberates through the room still, although you can tell that the brooch itself is not active any longer.
Like it's been used up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks very similar to the way that a Rudy's ring looked, that Galdi's arrow looked.
How quickly do I recognize the symbol of the wolf? Or have I seen it before, actually? Well, I think Morgus is connecting the dots, because I think I might be connecting the dots.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Morgus has all that knowledge.
Morgus has seen Nyx in wolf form.
Okay.
But you have seen Garacaius.
Yeah, like that's what Morgus is thinking of, is the crow and the wolf. And I'm going to look over at Godfrey. I'm going to be like, there's a black bird and there's a wolf symbol with black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Nyx and Medusa and Persephone were connected. Like had some sort of...
Well, we know that they were
affiliation.
connected.
Godfrey, weren't you talking to a crow at that cottage?
Yeah, Garacaius.
Oh. The crow in the furnace didn't look like Garacaius, did it?
Dead crow, brooch with wolf.
Nyx.
I'm gonna go back with you. You wanna go back? Wait, no, hey, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back into the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Sille, where are you going? So like,
I gotta hang
why are
on.
you turning away from this conversation?
Hang on, I gotta check something.
It does.
Would I? Yeah, I don't know necessarily how I would know it. Because I fucking hate that bird.
You know it in your gut.
Oh, hey, that's Garacaius.
Or like that.
Well, not exactly. Is this crow dead?
Mhm.
More, Godfrey picks it up and
Yes.
Why is everybody's first inclination to touch the dead bird?
I'm a professional. I do this for a living.
You keep saying
With people, but not with
professional.
crows.
We're investigators.
Look,
looking
my
for clues.
career trajectory has gone way off track.
I hear that, but I don't know. Listen.
So, do I know any,
So-
like, can I roll, like, a history or religion check to see if there's, like, any sort of, like, ritual involved? Because, like, this seems very, like, there's, like, a pin, like, this crow's heart was pricked very deliberately. Like, it seems odd that a animal stuffed in a hot furnace seems to have died by its heart being taken.
Right, but Livy is only aware of rituals that involve Mysteria.
Mm.
So that would be an impossible roll if I let you roll it.
Oh,
So, I don't think this is Garacaius, though, because Garacaius wasn't actually a crow. You see, he was some sort of really weird, scary demon thing that just took crow form. This crow's form.
Bitsy sort of
Godfrey, like-
flies in to come check on Morgus and then immediately sees the dead crow and excuses herself.
Have we seen Garacaius lately?
No. Well, he was the wolf for a while. We haven't seen him since we left Winston.
Can I check? I don't know if the monocle does that, but can Morgus use the monocle to check the crow carcass?
Doesn't seem magical.
Okay.
Can we keep the dead bird? It might be important later.
Are there any symbols on the bird, particularly an infernal at all, or no?
No.
Why do you kill the messenger?
Well, the message was never delivered. Because you don't want it delivered?
That's where we're gonna end.
Ah,
Yeah.
Zibba, you did find this note, like, it fell, and it was, like, accidentally pushed to his side, right?
I don't know.
Description. Like, it was an accident that it dropped. Like, maybe it got lost and you found it.
so like two things
So
might
maybe
be
she
happening.
just wrote a second note and sent the second one because she lost the first one.
Shit.
All right. Morgus has a smorgasbord of food
Smorgasbord.
and drinks on the table the same way that Weaver would, as Linus and Gahesh and Fern join you all for a meal. There's lots of talking and hanging out. And as you come to the end of the meal, what are you all doing? It's just after dinner time.
Man, I can't remember the last time I had normal tasting food.
I
Mhm.
think because Livy can't eat a lot, he's been instead trying to find other letters to like compare the handwriting to make sure that like legit like this is the same person, like because I think he's worried that this is a setup, I guess. by Medusa or something else. Because it doesn't make a lot of sense that she wrote a letter to Medusa and then never mailed it, unless she just didn't have the chance to do that. So he just wants to try to line up the handwriting to see if it's accurate. See if she wrote anything else.
You don't find any other handwritten anything in the house that you know for sure is Ulu's that you can compare it to.
He didn't write down any orders she was doing or anything like that?
The house just seems to be completely cleared out aside from the rooms that are tended to by the 3 people left.
Gotcha.
Let's start. Sorry, Rena. Oh, I said Avis. Let's start clearing up the table a little bit. Gosh, did Weaver say anything? Does she want us to report to her, or she's got it handled?
She, I don't know how. I think she thought y'all were dead, honestly. No note, and you went off on this yourself mission, and I didn't come back for a while, Yeah,
it's fair. I guess that does make sense. That answers my next question.
Send anyone after us?
Yeah, I don't think they would. Certainly not for anyone who doesn't pay their dues.
Paid her dues.
But you'd think for those that they do, well, I guess the agreement was that they don't, especially after a couple of weeks. No point in wasting the resources. I guess that answers my next question. She didn't leave anything behind for me. Nothing from Ulu either?
No.
All right. Just scraping plates off.
Y'all have seen the people come and go in your time with us,
Yeah, I don't know, you start to think, and I think Sille has this moment of, she's stayed at this place for a really long time and has started putting roots down, but it's this kind of recognition of oh, yeah, no, I've been living here, but I've been on the road with these people for less time, and I think they'd probably maybe come back. No, yeah, that... you're right. People come and go here all the time. There's no sense in sending anyone out. I understand.
Yep.
Well, if we do meet up again, I'm sure it's either going to be a shock or letdown. I don't know.
You mean with me or with... Are you leaving?
No, is Weaver expecting to come back from this, or?
Oh, I don't know. She's just pretty resilient.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if our paths meet up again. Is it going to be a surprise to her that we're not dead, or is it best if we go off and try and do that before we meet up with her? Or is she not too fussed?
I don't think you need to worry about her. Unless you really want to go, then you can go. If you want to fight for the cause, take up the fight, you can do that.
Particularly Gash? Do I look like I want to do that?
I don't know.
I'm just kind of smiles at him. Nah, man.
All right, let's get some information that we know is going to happen, and then information we presume is true. We know there's going to be a meeting between all of the king's relatives very soon. And he said he would try. We asked if we could go. He said he would try to get us there.
King Thedonis?
Yes.
I thought he was like just his own thing.
No, apparently he is a very large and complicated family.
Whoa.
It's like an estranged situation.
Very strange situation.
Is this like a regicide thing we're talking about? Someone trying to hurt him?
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, we're not trying to.
No,
Probably.
we're not trying to murder him.
His family might be.
Like, looks like Godfrey. Like, we're not, right?
Godfrey's just fiddling with the brooch that was picked up. He looks over at Livy and then just looks back at the brooch wordlessly.
Look, we know that. We know my friend, the Earth Genasi, is going to. We know what she's going to be at this meeting as well, and we wanted to talk to her. And that's everything we know for a fact. What we think is happening is,
Fern kind of like chimes in. Should we go? Sounds like you're having a conversation with a lot of context we don't have, and I don't want to intrude on anything that we're not supposed to be a part of, or if there's secrets or anything,
if you don't,
You guys just want to go make
leave.
out in the garden again, don't you?
No.
Oh, yeah, you just want to do that.
Gross.
Sille
if
shoots
you're-
a look over, just knowing.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to make out or you're uncomfortable knowing all of this, you can leave, but maybe it's just me, but I trust both of you.
Okay. And they get up and leave the table and head back to the greenhouse. At this
She's
point,
never
Linus
good for
like
them.
kind of shuffles out as well, closing his book. Morgus is nose deep in his book about soul that you have stolen from the library, Livy, and kind of looks up occasionally to pay attention to the conversation, but is very engrossed in what he's learning in that book.
We think Weaver stole the crown and gave it to Medusa.
Ulu. We have proof
And
that
we-
Ulu did, didn't we?
One of them, yes.
I mean, I found the letter. I'm pretty sure it was Ulu admitting to have taken my crown.
It might be I just want to have caution in case this was a forged letter.
But I thought that Sille and Godfrey or Morgus or one of them just looked at the letter because they are more familiar with this handwriting, having paid dues or whatever for longer than we have, and they were pretty sure it was their handwriting.
I mean, Ulu's handwriting or not. And I don't know how much I know about my friends anymore, but I think I know enough to know that Ulu wouldn't necessarily do anything without Weaver's approval.
So, and they're also going on a quest to prove my Siera is not real. Which we have heard from gods that she, at least at one point, she was definitely real and she existed and she's probably asleep.
Cursed into stone, asleep.
So the same effect. What? It seems like we have a choice. At least to me. We can either go after Weaver or we can go to this meeting.
Might be too late to catch up with Weaver. He's 5 days ahead of us.
I agree. I don't know that at this point, where Weaver's going to, we'd stand much of a chance anyway if anything turned.
How do we get to this meeting, though? Didn't the king just, take off on a horse?
He's still around. He's going to ask if we can go.
Did we get confirmation he's coming back? Well, I don't know how this god things work. They just snap when you go there? Does it really matter where we're at when the meeting starts? I'm assuming it's not on this plane. If it's somewhere on this plane, that'd be wild.
It would be wild. No, I think and we can go tomorrow and double check with him, but I think what's going to happen is he's going to ask, and he'll either say no or yes, and then he'll snap his fingers and we'll go to a different plane.
I do want to clarify, I don't think that Reem said anything about asking permission for you to come. He just really was interested in the chaos that you all would create by going. And he told you that it was happening at an Air Genasi temple in the middle of the ocean.
Oh.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that even if Reem had said he was going to ask permission, we're never going to fucking hear from him again.
That feels right. That feels right.
Okay, so
we either go to the Air Genasi temple after a god and hope the other gods don't get upset about us crashing a meeting. They do, whatever. We've done worse. They probably need a talking to. Or we go after Weaver and Uller and my crown to the front.
Also a
If
third
they're guys,
option.
though, we go meet up with them. If they tell us to get out of it, could we say yo, could you give us a really fast ride to this place and then
I think it'll be too late, but
I feel like they should be able to do that.
Godfrey is a secret third option.
We find a way to turn someone back from stone, and we start heading to Mysteria, in the hopes that them going to Fort Mercer takes enough time that we could beat them there.
I don't think we really know what Mysteria stands for anymore. Unless if anyone else does, I would love to hear it. I'm kind of lost any serious ties to religion at this point because I don't know what to believe anymore. But was she turned into stone for what team? For what reasons? What's going on here?
it almost sounds like she was a third element. Two factions going up against each other, and Mysteria betrayed or left one faction.
Because how is
And
turning
was
her
trying to-
from stone unstoned? I have a word referring to that. Are we sure that would be helpful? If it's just a third element? Are we a fourth element? If it's for chaos' sake, I mean, I could consider it, but I don't know. I don't know what we're going for here anymore. Do you think she was a hero? Maybe it'll make us bigger heroes? I could get behind it. I don't know what she's playing for, and if that's really her goal.
We did
That's
say
assuming
we
this
wanted
isn't just
more
the site of a giant paperweight.
That's true.
We did say we wanted more information. This meeting would provide us with the information we wanted.
But they don't seem great either, considering
No, they seem terrible.
one of the guys apparently just kind of curses his son because didn't achieve enough from being born.
And murders his wife.
That seems a little messed up. He didn't choose to be born. But I haven't heard his side of the story. Just a fourth element here.
We're all air. The fourth element.
I feel like to decide where we're going, we gotta decide what we're gonna be standing for.
Makes sense. What do you stand for?
Well, seems to be some old gods who got put in timeout for quite a while. So maybe learned something, maybe didn't. And we got some new gods that clearly are tripping out on power and don't know how to enjoy things with responsibility or moderation. And we got a third god that apparently tried exiling everyone because they all have issues and didn't work out, so she herself got exiled. I don't know if bring her back would bring back a better game plan. And then there's going after some people who are working for gods that we know for sure are not doing good things, as they are apparently, in a way, possessing souls out of people's bodies. And we still have a few friends in limbo. So one way only really for sure shows they're going into something I think we can all agree on is not good with the whole possession deal. The other two are just if we're going to take allies or not, and if we want them to be our allies. Does that seem fair?
I think that's all true, but also ultimately we're trying to figure out how to prevent this war from ravaging the lands.
Okay, one thing at a time here. I don't think long term, alright? I'm young. I got a long life ahead of me. I start to get that far out. I'm gonna have an existential crisis, man.
I think to have gotten as far as that understanding shows immense growth. But Godfrey's right. I think ultimately preventing further destruction is our charge. And puts the plate that she's been scraping down and sits back down on the bench next to Morgus. I don't know where that leaves us.
It was like stacking silverware to see how many forks and knives she can balance on top of cups.
So, completely off tangent. The crow we found, do we think it's Garakias?
Yes.
Do we know that for certain?
It at least looks like the crow form that Garakias took, but I know for a fact that Garakias was not a crow.
Anyone know Speak to the Dead?
You can do that? Just
You
make a
know
little
Thunder
ghost.
does.
Is he related
Anyone
to Garakias?
else know how to speak to the dead?
Godfrey, give me a nature check.
Nature. It's a 12 minus 1. 11.
That is enough. You've been around what this corruption looks like. You get the impression that Garakias' true form corrupted the form of crow or a wolf. Sort of like a capsule, sort of like your mask. The shell of it exists, but the creature inside is something else. And that he was just released. So something like Speak to the Dead isn't really possible.
So is the dead crow in malice?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, if you if there's a dead crow, that usually means you would assume malice actions. Do you think we should assume that in this case? Am I using malice correctly in the sentence? Stares intently at Livy.
Technically, it's a little bit clunky, but I would say malicious.
Malicious.
Do we assume they're being malicious in their actions?
If we're assuming malicious actions,
Although
that
I'm
makes
not-
sense why we want to speak to the dead. I mean, so, like, I don't know. I was asking Godfrey. He knows more about Nyx than the rest of us. Like, was this a malicious attack against Nyx, or is this other Mojo Jojo?
No, I think it's more like the crow wasn't a crow anymore when Garakias was inside of it. So even if we spoke to the crow, it would know nothing about Garakias.
Garakias
It's
is
just a vessel.
Yes, I think that
So
is correct.
Garakias just left the crow, not someone killed Garakias.
Yes. Presumably
Okay, cool.
this is a
Thank God.
ritual.
I kind of liked that dog.
No, knowing Goiakaias the second anything befell this poor thing, he just pissed off.
So, but the last form we saw it in was the dog, right?
I don't know if he went back into a crow or not.
Oh no, it was the crow. So,
For those who are listening to the podcast, I timed the action of booping my own nose 3 times to remind the players that the last time they saw Garakias, he asked Godfrey to boop his nose 3 times, and when he did, he turned back to a crow and flew away.
Oh. So he was a crow.
So he flew away, he came here, and then he released the form, and I'm assuming he didn't stuff himself in it. Were they just trying to hide Geralt? They were trying to hide him then.
Maybe he's gonna come back and still need use of the crow body. They were like,
Adam, you were on the correct path with the thing that you were going to say before. There was a bunch of overlapping.
I've completely lost it. It is gone.
You started to say it seems like there was some kind of ritual to release him, and then it didn't stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ritual to
Means he was sent back, and it means that they definitely know that we are alive.
shit. Wait, that's good? Bad? I don't know.
Which Sille pings the thing in your mind. Ulu would have to know how to do that.
I think when we first walked into the room, seeing it and knowing what I know about this type of like situation set up, she would have had to have had some sort of pre-knowledge of that. And I think the rest of the party sees Sille kind of start scratching her like lower arm. Ah, fuck. You don't just like guess at this, do you? You don't just like fuck around and see what works. It's not really like a trial and error thing. You spend time. Well, yeah, no, certain things you can absolutely, but this, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to go pick up a pin and start stabbing around until you hit some sort of magic chord, but this is... she knew this.
Mm.
And I didn't know her.
don't think that's accurate. You didn't know parts of her.
Seems like a pretty large part.
So, give me a history check. Godfrey, you can give me a history check as well.
Right? -1.
12. Why is my history
9.
so high? 17.
Nice.
So 12 on the die. I've got +5 in my history.
Godfrey doesn't remember this, but Sille remembers Ulu talking about how she grew up in the gates. And this is not the DM leading you. The decision is still yours, wherever you'd like to go, but that is connection you make.
People end up here from all over. And I never really thought to ask why. I sort of just thought it was a repository, just a place that, like, if you came here, you didn't want people to ask where you were from. And Ulu and I talked about it once or twice, and she didn't really say much about it, but she's from where that rock is.
The gate?
And she never thought to bring that up either. It's just information, I guess.
But you knew someone who grew up at the gate?
Ulu.
It's like so cool.
And that's,
I've never seen it.
I mean, that's what she said, but like, but did she though? She said she did.
It would make sense if she grew up at the gate.
Alright,
How so?
hear me out. Go ahead, Livy.
If Ulu was working for Nyx, it seems there are two people who are most likely from the gate. People who are very pro-Mysheria and people who are very anti-Mysheria. That's usually what happens when you grow up in a religious place. If Ulu was from the gate, she probably had a lot of opportunity to find Nyx or people who were affiliated with Nyx.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the things she and I kind of talked about was growing up in communities, but the way, and I guess this is a question for the DM. Now that I kind of think about conversations that you already know where I'm going with this. Fuck you. Did we talk about the ways in which we grew up in these kind of communities, and did we have I'm getting like weird. Did we have similar but different experiences?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Mysheria is a lie is the core tenet that brings anyone to the Carousel Court. It's almost their credo. Right?
I thought we were finally getting at something once. And I didn't know what she was talking about because it wasn't what I was talking about. But Livy, I think that's maybe it. That she's been in league with Nyx.
The other question, and Godfrey holds up the amulet. How did she come into possession of this? Because you got the crown and the arrow from a weird dream. Where did Ulu find this?
Why did she send us to Wimston? If Weaver Ulu. Were they trying to get us to find out where these people were they trying to get us to find Maya?
Oh man, I should have asked that guy.
They did want Maya. Nyx wanted Maya.
Remember how close the party was to engaging in combat with Maya?
With Maya? In a dream? Wait.
At the spring. The one who kidnapped you.
With the big feet.
Oh yeah. Remember that. I was knocked out for most of that in the cellar.
Is that what she wanted? Is that what they wanted? For us to fight?
Well, we found these things in a dream, which theoretically we've seen have sometimes freed people of shackles on either where they can go or their abilities or just out of stone. But when we were in the dream, wasn't Arudi in charge of the dream world? Who put us in the dream? Why have we never asked that? I feel like we should know because they're clearly leading us down a path here. Was it Arudi? Because he was in charge of the dreams? I feel like I need to call this man up. I should have asked him.
No, Rudy. And we don't know if it's a true or a lie. He said he.
But we killed Medusa in the
total
dream,
control.
and that does not feel like your Rudy style at all.
But when we were in the dream, when I talked to like the huntress, the god of hunt, she didn't know who my Siera was, and she said it might have been an alternate reality.
Avis,
Yeah.
Zibba, give me an intelligence check. I know.
Or it was a different plane or something.
Nice. I got a 6.
Okay, yeah, that's not enough.
This was 4 years ago, everyone.
Just unfazed blinking at Livy, like, what?
You are able to infer that Arudi was in control of the dream realm when you had the dream that you had. And he would have his own motivations to setting adventurers on a path to release his wife, right?
That's true. It feels weird to put someone in a dream to kind of kill your wife to get the thing they need to free your wife. Like,
But we learned that wasn't really his wife.
And
It
how he's
was
a
a
little
dream
obsessed with
version
her.
of her.
yes.
Right?
But if he's so obsessed with her to make a dream version of her to spend his days with, and can't completely say he's not going to, like, what's the word for it? Like, disherit, or condemn. I'm really trying these vocab words out, Livy, and it's not going well. Condemn her actions that he knows a little bit internally that they are wrong, but won't condemn entirely because he's so in love with her. It just feels a little off character to set up a dream to encourage people to try and kill her. Feels like you're setting up a bad precedence that if you meet her then in the real world, that you're not going to try and do it again. Maybe he did subconsciously want to stop her, though. I don't know. That's a lot of grown-up thoughts.
Or maybe it was to make adventurers like us, or just in general, who would favor my Siera or the old gods. Medusa is objectively initially scary. She is a woman with snakes for hair maybe he thought people would more likely go with the other people. The people who are more conventionally, air quotes, good looking. He wanted the adventurers to go in, get the crown, come back, find out what was going on, and then eventually go on their side. Maybe. I don't know. But Alright, what does everyone want to do? We're talking a lot. Do we want to go to the meeting? Do we want to go to... Do we want to try to find Weaver? Or do we want to go back to Mysteria? Or do we want to find a way to unfreeze Mysteria? 3 options. 3 things to do.
Morgus sort of like puts the book down, closes it, looks up. Don't think this is a decision we should rush. There are a few days until the meeting. Why don't we sleep on it?
I agree.
Can I vote against an option?
You want to vote against one of the options right now, off just right outright?
Yeah. Well, there's one I just think that it doesn't make sense and I don't want to do it.
Is it finding Weaver? Cause
yeah, it is. It is. I really just, I don't think that's really an option right now. I feel like the other stuff got better leads in tighter timelines.
You kid, I'm with you.
I barely knew her. I'm sorry. I barely knew her.
Yeah, and listen, I know you'd be coming with empty pockets, but also your instincts aren't wrong there.
All right. Well, then we can sleep on the other 2.
I think the other 2 we should definitely sleep on.
We all pass out on the floor.
I would say you all have a cozy cottage you can go back to. Unless for some reason you want to stay at the court for some reason that I'm not aware of.
Not staying in this haunted house.
We all know Godfrey has to go back and find his
body was
it needs to be done.
Into the floor, into the walls.
Gahash and Fern have had this place to themselves for a really long time. They are not going to understand that there are people staying here. I think we should just go the fuck home.
That is it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you are enjoying Utopia. Sorry for the little break. There will probably be more in the future as we allow ourselves some grace as a studio to make some more content with our finite amount of time. Utopia is not going away. It just might be a little less frequent than what you all are originally used to. With that, if you're liking the show, please subscribe, leave a comment, rate, ring that bell, do whatever you can on whatever platform you are on. Is very, very much appreciated. And if you like all the content we're creating, feel free to leave us a little donation on Ko-Fi, maybe become a monthly subscriber there. A little bit goes a long way in helping us pay our cast and pay our fees to keep all of our content going. Intro and outro by Nolan Clock. Everything else by myself and the cast. I hope you have a really great day.